how are you today, sir?
Well, could be worse, I guess.
Oh Lord, what's the negative?
Well, I don't know. It's just, just trying to figure out what to do next. You ever been in that position where you had everything in the world going and you just didn't know how to get it all done? And
I don't envy you that.
well, and we're in the middle of a bunch of stuff right now, trying to settle an estate and all that. And so this weekend, I sat down and I tried to make a list of stuff that I needed to do in order to not lose my sanity. And I started writing stuff down. And I got to 7 pages and I got tired of writing stuff down. So I'm trying to get organized, and when you get organized, you tend to get more stuff done, and that's where I'm at right now. But it's a lot of stuff. I mean, it's and to get it done is hard, But I don't know, when you have 2 parents that die in the same year, it was my wife's parents. There's a lot of things come up. No matter how prepared somebody really sat down and tried to make it easy for you, and her father did. He did a great job of that thing. It is unreal the things that come up, especially when you complicate it with the special needs trust and setting all that up. Unbelievable, but it's a hard time, and last year was such a terrible year anyway, and I don't know. It's sometimes I wonder if we're ever gonna get this done. But
it'll be over with one of these days.
I think so, but
well, everything will probably come together at once.
Right.
And then all of a sudden there'll be nothing to do, and you'll wonder what's going on.
Yeah.
Sure will be nice, won't it?
I was watching old Phil Robertson this morning. The guy over at the Duck Dynasty.
Yeah.
The guy with the. It's funny how back in the old days, I don't know if I told you this story, but back in the old days at Bass Pro Shop, we used to go in there and do shows, every year they had a fall and a spring show, and we were in there and we would see those guys down at the end of the deal, and with those long beards, and I'm just going, I didn't know what to think about.
Yeah.
And I really wish I'd taken out time to go down and talk with them. But I was watching Phil this morning talking, and there's a lot of stuff that we worry about that we really ought to put to the side. And if you listen to him, it's actually good advice, I think. Like what you do, you fish every week out there, and you do what you like to do, and if you can find something like that, you need to concentrate on that and try to do that,
My wife made a comment the other night how fortunate we were to be in the position in life that we're in at our age. Do whatever we want to when we want to. If we don't do something, we don't do it.
Yeah.
Just of course, fishing's that's about all I do, which is just fine with her because that keeps me out of her hair.
So anyway, okay, and here's what you did last week, and this is Don Overstreet and Bill Ailes, $6.99, $15.70, which ain't a bad number for stringers. And let's see, where are you at?
Down there about the middle.
Right here. Okay, $2.61 was the lunker and $6.03 total, and second place was Dennis Babinas. And he had a good string. He just barely missed out of the money, So that hurt. But So where y'all were? This was anywhere on the lake,
right?
And what part of the lake were y'all on?
Well, we ended up fishing my fish in Glade.
Glade.
Yeah, that side of the lake, and we caught absolutely nothing back in Glade. So we came out of there about 7:30, and ran around a little bit, tried some different places, and ended up going down to the deep fish, and that's where we caught everything we caught. It was out in 18 to 20 feet of water, and we didn't start catching them until 11 o'clock. And so,
really? So normally you've been catching them a lot earlier. They shut off at 11.
Yeah. Several other guys made the comment that their bite didn't start till 11, so I don't know.
That is bizarre, isn't it?
I guess that's their feeding time, or somebody didn't go back, and I should have gone back and checked that to see if that had any connection. But
so what kind of baits were y'all using catfishing with?
we were throwing watermelon candy red, whatever. Partner was throwing a little
Texas rig?
no, we were both throwing Carolina rigs.
Okay.
He was throwing a crawdad, and I was throwing a fluke. The crawdad seemed to work better, but I didn't have any with me. I finally got one from him and caught a fish on him. But
so crawdads are coming back.
yeah, well, the watermelon candy red.
Yeah.
I think if I probably should have put a brush hog on, but that's 20/20 hindsight. But anyway, I know it got hot. Ooh, Lordy. About 10 o'clock, I thought we were just going to melt down into a puddle. It was just dead calm and about 85 degrees.
Wow.
Miserable. But
So you didn't have much wind blowing in?
No, none.
None.
Occasionally you'd get a little whisper come across, and it felt wonderful when it did, but it was, like I say, it was occasional. It was nothing consistent.
Yeah.
Early that morning, and I've not seen it it was unusual. Back there in the back of Glade, it was dead calm. And as far as you could see off in the distance in any direction, shad.
Oh, wow.
Just not huge schools, but small schools of shad, those that are about 3 or 4 feet in diameter.
Yeah.
But they were just solid. Just like I say, any direction. We're sitting there in the boat, and Tom bumped something against the boat, and shad jumped for 50 yards. I thought, good Lord. And I did it intentionally myself, boop and shoo.
Yeah.
So
but
if you ever wonder how far sound travels in the water, it travels fast, a long way. And I'd also heard that dropping it in a boat, it didn't transmit very well. Those shad could hear it.
They could hear it.
Yeah.
Well, if they can, the bass can
good
too,
too,
I would
yeah.
think.
But we fished around there in amongst all that bait and never got a bite. And I don't think we ever saw it, maybe 1 or 2 surface, where a bass actually tried to eat a shad. They just,
really?
if they were there, they just were not feeding. So anyway, we came out of that, and of course, we get out in the deep water. There were a lot of shad there, but they weren't up on the surface like they were in Glade. So.
Did other people catch them in deeper water like that, or do you know?
Some of them did. I really didn't. I don't remember where of course, Don Overstreet, when you hear Don Overstreet, you just put / Little Caney.
Okay.
That's where Don's going.
He likes Little Caney.
That's Don's, yeah.
Okay.
That's Don's home water, so that's where he caught it. The where is the thing. And he likes to throw a wacky worm.
Mm-hmm.
So he and his partner, I'm sure they spent the morning back up in the back of Little Caney. That's where Don likes to go. Babinas, I don't know where Dennis is currently fishing. I think it's someplace up in Burns, but I'm not real sure about that. But if you go back and look the past 2 or 3 weeks, he has done consistently well.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there's a correlation between the depth of the water to the...
There probably is. I just hadn't figured out what it is.
Well, you caught some in deeper water, so...
Yeah, that's true. I'm fishing with John Barris this week.
Yeah.
I'm still boatless, and it looks like they basically gave up on it.
What do you mean?
Well, the guy said, I don't know what to do. I'm just waiting until so-and-so gets back on Tuesday. So we're gonna.
The
mechanics, they
got the parts back?
They got
they're still having problems?
Fuel injection back. It's still won't idle. So I'm back about to the point of telling them just what does it cost me to get it out of here right now.
I don't know if that's the best solution there, but
I don't either, but I've got a strong lead on a new outboard.
yeah.
Which, if I could get out from under this, I'd probably do that. So we'll see. I don't know.
Well, they ought to be able to figure it out, I would think. I mean,
I was kind of disappointed for him when he said, I just cut.
Okay.
You know, I thought, hey,
well,
I thought y'all had sources to where you could call people and say, hey, I got this situation, what should I do?
yeah.
And apparently they don't. So,
Well, I don't know. They don't sound promising. So.
yeah.
Well, it'll get figured out one way or
We'll
the
get it
other.
Resolved one way or the other.
You'll drive a new one up underneath there if you
Yeah.
need to or whatever. I know you well enough to. That ain't gonna slow you down too much. So.
But it's not interested in the new one. I keep looking at them as I go through there. I think that's part of the process is to force you to look at all the new ones. But,
Yeah. So next week, where y'all fishing next week? This is hardcore or
next this is hardcore section 2.
section 2? Okay. And
Which
so
is from the spillway.
from that area right there,
Yeah, the
see the
spillway.
sign and highway.
All the way back up to 515.
Highway to almost highway to highway. It's actually from the spillway and
Right.
back.
Yeah.
So
So it'll include Little Caney and all the big creeks on the Lake Fork side.
yeah,
I'm meeting John at Pope's Wednesday morning, and he wants to go out and fish some topwater. That's funny. That's the way I feel about topwater fishing.
you're not big into top water.
No, really not.
Oh, that's a good area for top water though.
Yeah.
I mean, when they're doing, I mean, I don't know if they are or not. Y'all try any top
They
water
haven't.
this weekend?
Nobody's reported a topwater bite.
Okay.
So
Well, hey, maybe you could be the first.
this is true. But we're gonna go out and try to get some idea of what to do, and then Wednesday we'll just go and do it all day long.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've never fished with John before. John's fished with me, and a lot of times, but I've always been the boater. But he's done well. He's a good fisherman.
Yeah.
Might learn something. So we're gonna go give him fits, see what we can come up with. In the section that I'm not wonderfully fond of, I've not historically done well in section 2. I've done pretty good up in Little Caney, and I've got some spots down at Cheney Branch.
Yeah. You ever fish Chicken Ridge out there?
Yeah, I have.
You know, that used to be a pretty good place out there way
It
back
was.
when.
It used to be, it really did, and as long as it had grass on it, it held fish.
Yeah. It was this little area right in here. Right here.
Yeah, Chicken Ridge.
Right on that. I had
I was
a
gonna
little
say,
part.
it's north today, it's,
Yeah.
And back up in No Name is another place that I have done well, which is just
Yeah.
right in there.
Yeah, that little ridge right there, and that little no-name creek right there. It's a pretty neat spot.
Yes, sir.
But you don't spend much time on that part of the lake, do you? I mean,
I really don't.
Yeah.
I really don't. And that's why we do this in hardcore, is to force you to areas
Right.
that you don't
Yeah.
normally fish. What I need to do is dedicate one day a week to fishing a section I don't like or something like that.
yeah. You know, one thing, one area down here that I've always wondered about is this.
Oh,
There's a road bed that comes down through that, and
Yeah.
it just drops off to. I mean, it's a crazy spot where the sheer cliffs in that thing. And I've not heard of anybody really seriously catching the right fish on that deal. Now, I've heard of people catching some good fish off on that hump.
Yeah.
You know, off this hump and some of this areas back in here, and then some of the spawning areas around the
Yeah.
back side of this thing, and you know, and some of these areas up on top. But I've never heard. You know, this. You told me down here there's actually there's a concrete spillway, I think it is, down at the bottom of this thing that used to be. Didn't you say it was water?
Yeah, it was Alba City Lake.
Alba City Lake was down there.
And the dam seems like it's 22 feet deep.
Yeah.
On top of it.
On top of it.
Yeah, so it's
down there.
It's down there, and there is a spillway at the I guess the east end.
So why has that never really paid off? I mean, that just seems like that would be a super area in there.
I think if you caught the fish when they were moving into Dale Creek or moving out, that would be a place that they might pause.
Yeah.
To me, it's just the water's too deep.
Well, is there any vegetation along that? No. And that may be part of the problem.
That is, and that's what happened over here. You talking about the road that comes across?
Yeah, from the south.
South to north there, yeah.
It goes north to south. I think it's right along in here.
That's it. Yeah. It used to have you couldn't fish the top of the hump because of the hydrilla.
Yeah.
And when it was like that, the fishing was extremely good all along the edge of it.
Yeah.
That
little cut in the creek right there is where that drop off just severely drops off down there. And I think that berm is right across here somewhere or another.
Yeah.
That for that dam of that water supply.
That creek comes in there and makes a hard right and goes up, and then you've got a bank there that is just literally vertical.
Yeah.
And it makes a hard left and comes back out. That's that dog leg that you see.
Yeah, right, exactly. That part right in there.
I mean, it's some radical structure.
Yeah.
Radical structure.
Well, you know, when David Kelly was alive, he was talking about this little hump right here.
Yeah.
He always thought that might be the next place
Yeah.
lake record could come from. Is that little area right there, and it's got some good fish off there, but I have not seen that lake record come from there. Or at least if it did, nobody would tell you about it.
Yeah. It's a favorite with the guides. I know that. It was when we were when I was running a camera boat here 2 or 3 years ago. We were further down in Dale Creek fishing back here.
Yeah, I remember you was back up on that bank up in here, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird that the BASS guy just shut it off and started fishing places we don't normally fish.
Yeah, I still think
so what are you thinking, buddy?
Yeah, they caught fish.
And caught fish.
But there was just a constant stream of boats in and out of that point.
Oh, yeah.
One would leave and immediately another one would come in.
Yeah.
Thinking, hey, there's nobody there.
Right, yeah.
But there was 10 minutes ago. Anyway, that whole area is a place that used to be. Back when we'd come around and launch at 5:15 West Ramp, and I don't remember we just did that for several years. That we came down to Dale Creek. That's where we came to fish, on that ridge. And I used to fish some night tournaments, and I'd launch up there, run down here, and then back up there. That was all I did.
Yeah. It's probably fun for you, having grown up when this wasn't even there. Your parents and your family had property on the thing, to see the changes through that time that and then in stages, when they fill that thing up, that had to be really interesting as you were growing up and seeing that. And I didn't get to see that. I mean, I saw one stage and I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention. I was probably fishing out there at the time.
I wish I'd have paid more attention for sure.
Yeah.
And I wish I'd have taken lots of pictures, but I didn't. That's.
Well, fortunately, David Kelly took some pictures, and that's, give a little plug to the lakeforkmaps.com. There's a bunch of pictures of that lake as it filled up, and David had the foresight to take those things and see some of the stuff that you could have seen back in those days. And that's the only reference I have for a lot of that is seeing what he did.
Right.
Just did a phenomenal job of having a thinking ahead of, about what's going to, this is going to be. And I don't know how he knew that this lake was going to be what it was, because at the time, I don't know that anybody knew it was going to turn into what it did.
No, they didn't do anything. I was sitting here looking at the map, and if you follow the road from Dale Creek back out, that's it, where the bridge is right there.
Yeah, that bridge.
I remember my dad and I getting in his boat and running around there. I said, where are we going? He said, we're going to the old bridge. I said, really? I said, how will we ever find it? He said, I'll show you. Well, of course, the timber was so thick you couldn't see that far ahead. I mean, it was still real brushy. And we worked our way through the bushes, and all of a sudden, here's about 10 boats tied up to each other. And lined up on top of that old bridge. And we got in there and figured out a way to tie up to this one guy, and we started fishing and just caught crappie. I mean, we really did. It was just one every drop. And there was a front coming through. And just as soon as that front cleared the overhead, the bite stopped. I mean, that was the most vivid. I still remember how everybody went, "What happened?" Because you were catching one every time you dropped a minnow down there. And as soon as the sun came out and that cloud, that line passed, it was over with.
That did it.
It's
funny how all of those fish at the same time realized that it was time to skedaddle, I guess,
and the
or
crowd,
take cover.
The crowd cleared out. When the crowd left, there were 3 or 4 trees sticking up, enough sticking up that you could tie a boat up to. So the first 3 or 4 boats got to tie up to that, and everybody else tied up to them.
Yeah.
It was really neat, and that went on for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Out there. But,
your daddy knew all he had to do was look for the boats.
That's really what it boiled down to.
He already knew what.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have been able to find it, but on his own. But it's a pretty good giveaway with.
Well, we came to what we did is we came down to Dale Creek Hump and got on that road. And of course, you got
it's very clear on that road, I imagine.
With the timber, you got a real clear view on how to get out there.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was. I don't have any idea when that was. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. It was a neat time. So anyway, I guess we could look at what's coming up here.
Yeah, not much.
Not much. It's for Fork. I think it's Victory Bass is about the only thing going this.
Yeah, and they're night tournaments.
Yeah, and then that's I think that's about it, isn't it? And till next month.
Yep, I think you're probably right. Those JC Outdoors, of course, that's
don't know where. Why does it say to be announced?
Well,
where it's going to be? I guess
it's all there. It's everything pulled in together.
Sure.
And he's going to announce it the day before or something, so nobody knows where so they can't go pre-fish.
Yeah.
It's going to be a secret lake kind of deal.
Well, if you've got to make reservations and stuff, ahead of time, it's going to be kind of a chore there. I mean, I'm not sure that's going to work very well for a lot of people, but.
Yeah, he'll probably have some kind of a meeting or something, and it may be the tournament the weekend before. I don't know how he'll handle it.
Yeah.
But,
well, and then next month, September.
September, here we go.
There you go. You got Mad Dog Moore open team, and then you've got Big Splash, Sealy Big Splash. To name a few.
Yeah,
and there may be some more, and I didn't even look at this one very closely. I'm sure Victory Bass is doing night tournaments and all that. And then the weather next week, this week, on Thursday, 90 degrees and a low 69 and a 4-mile-an-hour wind. So
let's hope to win.
Let's hope it at least gets 4 miles an hour.
Yeah. I'm pleased with the Wednesday forecast Tuesday, because it's going to be Tuesday afternoon before I can go up there, because I got to deal with the boat deal. And if I get there on a typical day, if I got there at 3 o'clock and turned the air conditioner on in the trailer, it might be cooled down by midnight.
Oh, wow.
Of course, that's when it gets up to 95. It's with a high of 88. I may have a little bit better luck. The heat load, and once you get that RV, get it warm, air conditioner, even though it works extremely well, it takes it a long time to overcome that much of a head start. So, and I think the weather's going to be about the same the following week. But we'll see.
I imagine it's going to be like this the rest of this month.
Yeah.
Probably count on that.
Yeah. Have some nice warm weather.
Yeah, and then shortly, it won't be long, we'll be complaining about how cold it is.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And then the crappie would be coming up, and we'd be crappie fishing. And how did you decide your scope that you ain't been able to use your boat?
Been able to use it, and I've not tried it. I'm going to.
Live scope, that's what you call it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep reading articles about how wonderful it is, but it's
well, you have to introduce it to a little water first.
that's true.
At least to get
and turn it on.
Yeah, I don't know, but
and I'm sure it'll work bass fishing especially in the deeper water. It can be handy because you pull up on the spot and see if there's anything there.
yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
You know, I was noticing your website. You know, you do have places for advertising in here, and if anybody really wanted to support the site, this would be a good place to put your ad. You know, and how they get a hold of you to put an ad on there if they need one.
More information, any of those?
Go down to more information.
Yeah,
so you just go in there, and it'll take you what to do and how to get that done. Okay, he's got a telephone number, I guess. Is that your telephone number?
That's good.
And you can go there and possibly get an ad in here that pops up. I mean, how many people did y'all? I didn't even see it looking. How many people last month did y'all have view this page?
Thousands.
Yeah, it was like 40,000 or something. It was a bunch last time I remember. You have that up here somewhere?
It's on the first page.
On the first page. Yeah. Well, it gets a lot of traffic, so I mean, if you wanted to advertise, that might show up with some of the best fishermen, people that really seriously doing it. That's a good place to go, So the tournaments that advertise on it saw significant increases in participation when our ads started coming out because of people that didn't know they were going, never heard of them. Oh yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, they didn't used to have that till you started this thing, so that's a helpful thing, And that was just really out of need that you did that. It was selfish need reason you created this thing. So.
Because I'd show up. It used to just irritate me to no end. Show up at the mini bucket on Saturday morning. There's no place to park. What's going on? Oh, so and so's having a tournament.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
I would like to know that.
I'd like to have known that.
So anyway, if you want to know where the tournaments are, just tune into this. It's called BassTournamentFinder.com, and there's no charge or anything. You just get on there and look and see what tournaments are coming up for each month and whatever state you're in there. So
any state, any lake, any date.
Yeah. So anyway, all right.
Okay. See you next week.